be called Red Road.
Its lamentation, I hear the real fire of men, that tales a new creation. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds and echoes in my soul. How can I keep from singing? No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love is Lord of heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? What though the tempest round me roll, I hear the truth delivered. What though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, boys and girls, at the outset, you're all very welcome here this evening to this a very auspicious occasion to mark the retirement and also a farewell party to Father Teddy. The format will be as follows. As you can see, we have a cake here to commemorate Father Teddy's departure from the parish. Like the wedding, we will call Father Teddy and Eddie Carroll. They will be our bride and groom for this evening to come forward to cut the cake. And if there are any press photographers in the audience, you're more than welcome to take photographs of the cutting of the cake. While the cake is being whisked away to the back department to get cut up, and we will disseminate it around to the people. Also, KYT have facilitated us here this evening by, as many of them have come together here this evening, and they're going to sing 2 or 3 songs in the meantime, and then we'll get down to the real business of the evening afterwards. So that's your format. So without further ado, I'll ask Eddie, the chairman of the organising committee, and Father Teddy to come forward here to cut the cake. I better be careful now. Just before we cut the cake, the minute the announcement went on the newsletter for home baking, we had an offer of a cake, I'd say within hours of that notice, and I'll ask you to give a big bullabus to the woman that made this beautiful cake here this evening, beautifully decorated. I refer to the woman from Larch Hill Crossroads, none other than Pat Lynch. Big bullabus. Stand up there, Pat, and we have a look. Okay. So, well done. And I'm sure that will taste as good as it looks. Okay. Right, folks, we'll take away the cake. I would ask all the members of the KYT here under the stewardship of Gillian Crowley and co. So with all the KYT people, come forward here as quickly as you can and we get the show on the road.
me. When you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. Just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the golden crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the golden crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, come
mention to Gillian Crowley, soon to be wed in the coming few months, but she's still Crowley tonight anyway, and him along. A big bull of both for KYT and their two course directors. Right, like any good chef, I have sampled the cake pat and it's beautiful. There are people mingling through the crowd as the speeches will be going ahead, and there is plenty cake for everyone in the audience. On behalf of the organising committee, it's my job here as MC tonight to welcome you here tonight to this very special function. We've got through the religious section of it over in Clonuf tonight, and we'd like to thank the two other priests along with Father Teddy who con-celebrated the Mass, our own Father Tim and Father Bernard. So to get the proceedings underway, we have a number of speakers here tonight, and I will call on our new parish priest. You heard that Father Tim or Father Teddy mentioned the upheaval it caused on the 11th of October, so equally Father Bernard, who came from Skull to be with us here in Kilmurry, faced the same upheaval, so I'll afford him the opportunity to say a few words as our new parish priest, and you are quite welcome here tonight to Kilmurry J Complex. I'm sure it's maybe your first occasion here in the premises, and you're quite welcome. So I'd ask you to give a big Kilmurry parish welcome to our new parish priest, Father Bernard Donovan.
Can I just say that part of the upheaval has been called on to speak when you have nothing prepared to say, and presuming that with ordination comes the gift of the gab, which isn't always the case. But nonetheless, I'm very happy to be here tonight. It is, moving is, as Father Teddy said, a big upheaval. I can certainly identify with an awful lot of what he said at the Mass this evening. But I suppose that's part of what it's about. I know him quite well from way back. We worked together some years back and lived together in the same parish, in the same house in Peru for a number of years. And I suppose knowing the person that you're replacing is always a help, and certainly he has been a help to me in many different ways since I've come. I've been on to him a number of times, asking him about different bits and pieces, and he's always most helpful, as indeed is Father Tim. Who, even though we didn't serve together, we have a similar pattern indeed in the past, and there's a lot that we share. And that certainly makes the upheaval a little bit easier. I have heard nothing but extremely positive accounts about the parish of Kilmurry from Father Teddy. Everything that he had to say was extremely positive and extremely praiseworthy of the people and the community and the parish here. And in my brief time here, that indeed has been my experience. And it's always, I suppose, good to hear that there's such a wonderful community and such a wonderful community spirit. And in fact, the turnout tonight here is testimony to that, and to the way the appreciation that you have for the priests that have worked among you. And that means an awful lot to us. I suppose as in any area of life, it's always good to be affirmed, and that's true equally for priests. And being affirmed in what we do certainly is a help when things maybe aren't always running smoothly and when things can be difficult. And your presence here tonight is a tremendous affirmation, I think, and a sign of your appreciation and gratitude to Father Teddy for the work that he did here, and indeed reflects the appreciation you have for the clergy that work in the parish. And I can only say that that's something that's probably a lot rarer nowadays maybe than it used to be in the past, and from our point of view is certainly acknowledged and very much appreciated. Other than that, just again to say I'm happy to be here to wish Father Teddy well once again in his new parish. I know he is undertaking a fairly sizable parish, and it's a daunting task, I'm sure, but I know that he is beginning, at least at this stage, after a few months, to come to terms with it. And I know that I speak for everybody here in wishing him well and in wishing him every success, every blessing, and hopefully that he will find happiness and contentment and fulfillment also there, as he certainly did here in the parish of Kilmurry.
Thank you, Father. Father Bernard was a bit hesitant, but you can see when he's put under pressure, he can deliver. I think there was an interesting fact while researching for tonight that I didn't realize that Father Bernard, Father Tim, and Father Eddie Collins shared the house together many, many years ago in Peru, and little did they know that all three would serve in Kilmurry Parish, either as a curate or a parish priest at a later stage. So it looks like that when you come to Kilmurry, one of the prerequisites is that you must have gone to Peru before you come to Kilmurry. I'm not saying that we're a third world country or anything like that. It's just, I suppose, for a deeper faith to send people to Peru first before sending them on to Kilmurry. Without further ado, speaking of faith, our next speaker is our good friend, very Reverend Archdeacon Bantry White. Again, like the previous speaker, Archdeacon Bantry White goes back a long ways with Father Teddy. Father Teddy, as you recall, served as a curate in Douglas. At the same time, Archdeacon Bantry White was the then rector in Douglas. So they knew each other very well, and when they came to Kilmurry, Archdeacon being ahead of his flock in Movidi, and Father Teddy in charge of us here in Kilmurry, there was a great bondship, and that was borne out through various religious services taking place in each other's churches. So I'd ask you to give a big warm welcome to Very Reverend Archdeacon Bantry White.
Well, thank you very much, Richard, and thank you very much to all who've been organising this for inviting me here this evening. I'm very honoured to be part of this occasion. As Richard has said, as you've said, Richard, Father Teddy and I go back to Douglas days on his previous incarnation in Douglas when he was curate there, and then of course I knew him when he was Bishop Buckley's secretary, and about which I must tell a story. 6 or 7 years ago, the four church leaders came to Cork and on a pastoral visit, and we visited the offices at Redemption Road, and your bishop, the Most Reverend John Buckley, Bishop of Cork and Ross, was introducing his staff to now Cardinal Brady and our former Archbishop Eames, and the president of the Methodist Church and the Presbyterian moderator. And he turned to Cardinal Brady and he made the statement, Archbishop, here in Cork, we operate the communist system. And pointing to Father Teddy, government by secretary. It's been a great pleasure and a great honour to have worked with Father Teddy Sullivan here in this area, and particularly in terms of our presence in each other's churches and shared liturgies and that sort of thing. It's been an honour, but it's also been indeed an inspiration. And I know that my colleague, the Reverend Adrian Wilkinson in Douglas, is enjoying a similar relationship over there as I had here. This is a wonderful community, and thank you very much to Father Teddy O'Sullivan for welcoming me so much into it, both in church and in community. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Very Reverend Archdeacon. Our next speaker, there was a song one time about I stepped out and you stepped in again. Well, a little bit like that happened with our next speaker. He's one of our own, our former parish priest, Father Tim O'Sullivan. Speaking of the missions, one of the first people that went out to represent the Cork and Ross diocese out in Peru, and we were fortunate that he served with us as parish priest. And when Father Tim, or Father Teddy, was appointed, Father Tim became an AP, and I must say, to us as parishioners, the relationship worked exceptionally well, and I'm sure Father Tim and Father Teddy will refer to that in their script. So I'd ask you to give the big bullabus to our own Father Tim O'Sullivan, AP.
Good evening, everybody. Now, the first time that I had any contact with Father Teddy was, I think I was in Peru at the time, and I had an account in the savings bank in Cork. And I found now and then that it was growing for no apparent reason, because being in Peru, I had nothing to put into it. And after a while, I discovered the reason. There were two Father Timothy O'Sullivans in Cork. And unfortunately, he caught up with me. He caught up with me again here in Kilmurry when the time came. I mean, the diocesan rule is that when you reach the ripe old age of 75, you hand in your resignation to the bishop. He may or may not receive it. 12 months later, he did, and I was delighted to hear that the man that was succeeding me here was a man that I had great respect for, because he was the man that told me, first of all, when I came home from Peru, when I asked him, you see, he was a bishop's secretary at the time, he rang me one evening and says, you know, Tim, he said, you've got an appointment. And I said, where? He said, your native parish. So he's the man that sent me here, first of all. And he's also the man that, when the time came for me to step down, came in here. And I can honestly say that I'm not really, shall we say, I don't have to strain a point to say that we became great friends. We worked very well together for the time we were here. And one of the things that I admired about him was this: he had an extraordinary interest in people. When I'd be driving along the road with him in his first days and he came here, and even for some, I suppose, a year or two afterwards, we never passed a house that he didn't ask me who lives there. And I never had to tell him a second time. He had an extraordinary interest in the parishioners. And I think by the time that he was changed, I think he knew certainly, I'd say a very high percentage, up to, I'd say 85% of the parishioners. He had that great gift, which I haven't. I mean, when I was a younger priest like himself, I had no problem in recognizing people or remembering people, but one of the things I have found that goes with the territory of age is you don't find it easy to recognize faces as easily as you did in years when you were younger. And of course, the memory isn't what it used to be either, but at the same time, we have to be thankful for small mercies. But I can honestly say that this evening, you know, one of the great advantages, Father Teddy, of having you here is that it brings us together. You know, there's a wonderful spirit in this parish. And not only that, but we saw both, you know, in the music that we had in Lladove and here again in Kilmurry, you know, and I've now heard about in Canavy, if we were able to go there, you know, that there's tremendous talent. I mean, that young group that sang there a moment ago, they're really a credit to themselves and their parents. You know, that we were able to hear not only their beautiful music, but their diction was absolutely perfect. I got every word of what they sang. You know, and they're very busy young people because they're doing exams. And yet in a short time, they come together there, and about twice a year, if not 3 times a year, they put on a very interesting and a very edifying and a very entertaining show. And obviously they did that again tonight. So Father Teddy, for the years that we spent together, thanks 1,000. You know, we were really great friends, and please God, will be for the rest of our lives. But I also want to thank you for giving us a reason for coming together like this from all parts of the parish. Really, if anyone were to see the crowd that are here tonight, you know that, and really it is a great tribute to Father Teddy, and it's also a great tribute to yourselves. You know, the parish spirit that is here and in every section of the community. Delightful to have Archdeacon Robin Bantry White with us. And you know that the whole parish, doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter really if you're neighbours, we're living in the area, you know that a turnout like this is absolutely marvellous. You know, the food that we had that was came at short notice, and that lovely cake that we were looking for. By the way, has it come? If you did, if you're all eaten down there, it didn't come up here yet. Oh, it has arrived, so you're forgiven. So I simply want to say, look, thanks 1,000 for the coming in such numbers to let Father Teddy know how much he did mean to us and how much he does mean to us, and please God will for many years to come.
The catering staff knew that you had a deep tradition in faith, so, and being the season of Lent there, they were trying to abstain you off a sweet cake there for fear you break your Lenten fast. Our next speaker is our own Eddie O'Carroll. He's incidentally chairman of the parish council as well, and he's also chairman of the organising committee here tonight, and he's going to say a few words on behalf of you in appreciation of all the work that our former parish priest, Father Teddy O'Sullivan. So I'd ask you, he's a Kerry man, but we won't hold it against him. He's trying to endear himself by wearing a red tie here tonight, but anyway, we had to make a special effort. We had to make an important phone call to Professor Brendan Dunn to bring forward his operation. He's fresh out of hospital after surgery, and I'm glad to say that he passed the fitness test here at 7:30 tonight to be here with us tonight on behalf of the organising. A big bullabus to Eddie O'Carroll.
I have to say from the outset that even though I'm wearing red and white, I live in Clodove and I'm here now in Kilmurry, and green and gold are very much part of those colours. I refer to my own county colours as well, of course. I suppose it's an honour and a privilege for me, I suppose, as chairperson of this committee, also the Parish Pastoral Council, to extend a very genuine and warm Céad Míle Fáilte to all of you. We have gathered in large numbers to pay tribute to Father Teddy, who last October left this parish and continue his ministry in the Diocese of Cork and Ross in the parish of Douglas. Also last October, Gillian Crowley and I were asked by Father Teddy to know would we attend the bicentenary celebrations of the cathedral. Gillian and I went along, and we couldn't help but notice that night that the 7 Munster bishops were on the sanctuary, as well as the papal nuncio. And when Mass was over, Gillian and I were chatting outside the door, and Father Teddy joined us. And I just happened to remark to him that he looked so comfortable up with all the purple and the red of the bishops that maybe perhaps it mightn't be too long before he'd be joining them. And as modestly as always, he said, not at all. He said, I won't be going up to that upper echelon. He said, there's no fear of that. But the following Wednesday, I, along with 2 other teaching colleagues, we were up with a group of first years up in Cashel on a day out. My phone rang. I recognised the number as Father Teddy's. So after the usual chit-chat, he said, Eddie, he said, I've got a bit of news for you. I have been appointed by Bishop Buckley as parish priest of Douglas. For the last 3 years in the parish council, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all members of the parish council, Father Teddy has been a very listening ear, an exceptionally cooperative parish priest, always at the end of the phone, and I suppose a week wouldn't have gone by without he and I chatting over one issue or the other. So on a personal level, and on a level perhaps on a larger scale in terms of the parish council and this committee for the last number of months, I want to say to you, we certainly wish you the very, very best. We are sad to see you go. We welcome Father Bernard, who now fills your shoes. I also just want to add that for us here, I suppose, and for me as an outsider that's coming in but is slowly making my way around the place, Father Teddy has been a wonderful asset to the parish. There's a genuineness and a caring about him that will live long in the memory of the many, many people whose lives he has touched. And I'm sure that the work of the priest goes on far behind the scenes that we know nothing of. The people he visits in hospital, the people he visits on a First Friday, unfortunately those you have to go to bear bad news. But like he said tonight at Mass in Clodove, the many happy occasions also of baptisms, First Communion days, confirmation days, wedding ceremonies or whatever, and being here tonight. I cannot finish my own few words without saying, and I know Richard will be hitting on this in a moment, but I cannot finish tonight as chairperson of the organising committee without thanking, I won't go through it by name because there are too many, but without thanking a huge range of people, be it the ladies and gents who were, mainly ladies I presume, who were responsible for this wonderful spread here this evening. You deserve a bula boss. Ever since the idea was mooted about trying to organise a night for Father Teddy, for those that came to the original meeting, for the tremendous help and assistance I got from Richard and from Gillian, for the people who distributed envelopes, and there were many, and for the people who in any way have contributed to tonight and to what it means to us as a parish and to what it means to you, Father Teddy, also. Again, can I say from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of Richard and Gillian, an extremely warm Goramila Mahagif to all of you. And I just want to finish by saying that once again, on your behalf, to wish Father Teddy exceptionally well. He has returned to a parish he knows well from his younger days as curate there. He has gone from us. We certainly wish you well. And every time that you pass through this parish on your way down home to your own place in West Cork, be sure and think of us with kindness. Be sure and think of us with generosity, with an odd spot of softness for a good carryman along the way. And be sure also, and I'm sure I speak for all of you, you will be extremely welcome back here every time you decide to return. Father Teddy, we salute you. And now it is indeed my wonderful honour and privilege to present. As you know, envelopes have been distributed throughout the parish, and again, many, many thanks to all people here and those who are not here, who have helped in any way possible. It is now my great privilege and honour, and I thank also, before I finish, Richard's wife. I'm sure Helen has been tormented on the phone the last month from different people. My own wife, Bernie, has been tormented also with phone calls. I use the word torment loosely. They have been extremely helpful in organising this behind the scenes also. So it is and many, many others. It is now my privilege to, on behalf of you all, to present, and I invite Father Teddy please to come forward, to present Father Teddy with an envelope with goodies inside in it, but also with this wonderful frame photograph of himself and Father Tim taken at the Mass at the Holy Well 2 years ago, and in the background, the 3 churches of the parish. So Father Teddy, if you'll come forward, please. Gillian, you might come up as well, please. Gillian. Richard, come as well, please. So on behalf of you all, I want to present this to Father Teddy, Prince Father Teddy, and wish him well in his way. The Father Teddy.
It's a mass offering. We'll ask Father Teddy to say a few words at this stage. I know he has said a few words already, but there's no time restriction. You're still before closing time, so it's all yours.
Thanks very much, Richard, and good evening again to all of you. I'm afraid, that I just might keel over, because I think my head has become disproportionately out of proportion to the rest of my body after listening to all those talks and words of praise. But thank you sincerely, and I stand before you humiliated and embarrassed, because when I heard mention there of envelopes being going around in the wake of what has happened in the last 5 or 6 months since I left here, I mean, the world has literally changed utterly. The recession and everything like that. So, and I'm just being serious for a moment now, that it certainly was entirely uncalled for to be passing envelopes around the place for Father Teddy, because you were really so generous to me when I was here, and I thank you sincerely for the mementos and for your generosity. And I will certainly fondly remember Kilmurry and Clodove and Canavee for the rest of my life. I was always very curious about this part of the world, because all my life really I would have been coming up and down the Bantry line from home to Cork, but it was always a case really of just flying through. Now I know exactly when I'm driving through Clonruige or through, well, Fernands, I suppose I always knew, but I know now that I'm driving through Clodagh as well, or Bridelands or wherever else. And it was really and truly an honour for me to come to know you, and as I said earlier, to share so much with you over the last 3.5 years. I've kind of lost my train of thought now, but it'll come back. I want to thank Father Bernard for his kind words. As he said, we actually lived in the same house for 3 years in Peru. 83 to 86, I arrived replacing the 4th priest. I was the newcomer, and Father Bernard and Eddie Collins and another priest were the 3 priests. And would you believe I landed myself into 3 smokers? I think Father Bernard will have some memory of my protestations in that regard. I, being a non-smoker, found it very hard to live with 3 heavy smokers. Then, of course, just to balance things up, Father Bernard doesn't drink. I did take a drink, so just in case that you would think that I'm inferring that I was the virtuous one and that he was not. But we had very pleasant years together, and as I said to somebody there somewhere in the past 6 months, I think actually the whole experience of leaving Kilmurry for me this time, it was the toughest time that I experienced a change, you know, except perhaps for when I left Peru. I must say I was very sad leaving Peru as well, and that was exactly 20 years ago this year. When I came back to Douglas at that time, and I didn't find the whole thing of moving as difficult any other time as this time. But it's good to know that at the end of the day we're not far away. It's only 25 minutes from here to my house in Douglas, and I know that we will bump into each other from time to time around the place. Cork, at the end of the day, is a very small place, and we'll be meeting in town and meeting in different places. Is there anything else now I should say apart from sincere thanks? It's unusual enough to be stuck for words, but you know, memories, wonderful. Again, it's most appropriate there that you give me the picture of the day up on Connocatubber, if you remember. I suppose last September 12 months, the 10th of September. And it was one of the most exceptional days of the year. It was truly magnificent. And that certainly is a highlight of a memory from here for me. Another very fond memory I have, because I enjoyed the night so well, was here in this very place, the night that the history of the club was launched. I'm sure many of you were here that night, and it was a real treat to listen to Micheál Murray-Hirtig that night, and everything else indeed, and everybody else. I remember we were up here in the stage, and I'll always remember the late Miles McSweeney, God rest him, when he was the president and he was asked to step down to say a few words, and I remember the looseness of foot with which the 90-year-old man stepped off the stage that night. So, and of course, I was privileged to be part of other great achievements in the parish too. Canavee's great success last year. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience for the entire community, and you know, I don't think I'll ever forget being with them up in Dublin the night before the match when we had mass in the hotel room, and I was suggesting to the team that, as well as remembering everything else, that I would hope they would remember the gospel that was there that night. It was the Transfiguration was the gospel for that particular mass, and a Transfiguration applied very well for all that the experience was for the Canavee people that night, or at that time. So I want to wish you all and your families and the next generation. It was lovely to see the young people of KYT tonight, and the children from the schools. I think Father Bernard and Father Tim would agree absolutely that it is sheer pleasure to go into the 4 schools in the parish here: Kilbannan, Clodove, Canavee and Kilmurry. Wonderful children, wonderful teachers, wonderful atmosphere. And I've mentioned all of this before. I should add, indeed, in the case of all those schools as well, the management, because in my experience over the 3.5 years, a huge amount happened in each of the schools by way of projects and work and extensions and what have you, and all of that change was managed by yourselves. I can certainly say with hand and heart, anything related to the schools did not cause me, as the parish priest, angst or anguish, because it was all done by yourselves. And again, some of the other speakers have referred to it like the community spirit that's here is extraordinary. Both here, Clodove, Canavee, Paul and Argid. I was often explaining to people when I would be trying to describe this parish that, like, it was quite a widespread parish from Duniski to the far end of Raour when you're almost down in Knockavilla, or from Carrigadrohid to Ardra, or from Paul and Argid to oh my God, the northeastern townland. I'm going to be killed for this, Loch Lee. You know, it's a widespread area, and I would be trying to describe like that it consists of different communities: Aherla, Clodove, Crookstown, Kilmurry, Paul and Argid, each with their own different identities and activities and so on. Lissarda, another area in the centre of the parish, then Canavee, Carrigadrohid. Enormous diversity, but all holding together in the faith under the name of the one parish of Kilmurry. It's been a wonderful experience for me, and I sincerely hope that the community spirit and the faith will go from strength to strength, because they are the most valued treasures we have. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thanks very much, Father Teddy. As you were going through the different settlements, you reminded me a bit of Nave Fionn-Bara, and there are a lot of similarities between you and St. Finbar. When you step down from the bishop's office, I know that you used to say Mass on a regular basis in Gugan, where St. Finbar gathered his crew before he sailed down the River Lee to Cork City. Then I believe he was born over in Grons, and he was baptised in Cunnagatubber, and equally you did your stint in Cunnagatubber 2 years ago on the 8th of September, and then unfortunately that famous day, the 11th of October 08, you had to get into your little boat and sail down the River Bride and onto the River Lee and onto the parish of Douglas. So there are great similarities. And maybe Eddie was right when he said it won't be long until you'll be up there with the pomp and the ceremony. Just in conclusion, I was warned by my good wife Helen to be brief, so I better do that because I know the price of land is down, but I run the risk of being divorced in this downturn of the economy. Thank you to all those that subscribes most generously, even in recessionary times. The crowd here tonight is indicative of the marketable product, and that was indicated by the fabulous response that you got in your white envelope. We kept away from brown. We said to be too politically, so we are politically correct, and we went for a white envelope. In conclusion, tonight didn't just happen, and there's a number of people that I want you to show your appreciation to. The people that got the hall ready, cleaned, got the tables ready, to all of you that supplied sandwiches free of charge and did a lot of home baking, of which I'm quite partial to myself, and a good judge of good baking, as people that know me well will verify. So I'd ask you to put a big bullabus for the catering staff and all those that supplied the niceties. To the crew of Kilmurry Jail who met you on arrival here tonight, I want to thank you for coming here at short notice to park the cars here and show people into the hall here tonight. So on behalf of everyone here, I say thank you to you as well, all of us. On the picture there, if people only knew how many times that I annoyed Peter Scanlon to get this picture right, it wasn't just the picture. There was numerous drafts. We tried many different options. We hope you will like the final draft. We went through it numerous times, and I think Peter will sleep soundly tonight that we have the picture delivered on time, and also to Peter and to Neil, who set up the slideshow here tonight of the various pictures that we could come across to keep you entertained until Father Teddy and the other two priests and Archdeacon Bantry White arrived with us here tonight. So to Peter, and also my good friend Danja Keller here for LTV, and also Catch and Ketch, who was with us earlier tonight over in the church, I'll ask you to show your appreciation to Peter and all the members of the press. In conclusion, and I mean it this time, may I, on your behalf and on my own behalf, I would have got to know Father Teddy well. I can say I have the unique honour of being there the day that Father Martin moved out and Father Teddy moved in. Unfortunately, Father Martin's crew, those people that know Father Martin, had a lot of stuff. The crew had an awful job trying to load the stuff in. Father Teddy's furniture people were below on the main road. The room wasn't big enough to put two trucks side by side. So I happened to be there to wave off Father Martin, but I also had the opportunity of meeting Father Teddy. And I want, on my own behalf and on behalf of everyone, to thank you most sincerely for the many memories you gave us. We'll think of the good ones. We all remember the bad ones, but tonight it's about rejoicing. While we are bidding farewell to you, we'll think of the many good memories, and I take this opportunity on your behalf to wish you every success in your new parish of Douglas, which no doubt has many challenging times ahead of you. It's a parish 7 times bigger than Kilmurry, so now the challenges are even much more difficult than we thought. We had problems here. They will shade into significance to the challenge that faces you. So thank you, good night, God bless. I know that some people want to meet Father Teddy and he wants to meet you, so there's no closing time here tonight, so feel free to stay on as long as you like once you shut the door on the way out, and we won't ask you to wash up. You're okay, Teddy, you'll get special dispensation.